Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure unboxing video. And today I am so excited because not only is this a figure that I have really been looking forward to, I kind of say that a lot, don't I? This is also a figure that is obviously very relevant to right now because, of course, not only is this the infamous pose from Goku in the manga in figure form, but this is also the SSR of the SSR art of the brand new Super Saiyan Goku in Dokkan. An appropriate time for this figure to land on my doorstep. This figure just so happens to be one of the newer, at least here in the States, figures in the FES line. Of course, if you're unfamiliar with this line, basically a line filled with a bunch of Gokus sculpted by one of the goats of figure sculpting, Hiroyuki Nakazawa. This set also comes with a Gogeta, well, not comes with because he's not actually in the box, but he's paired with, upon release, this Gogeta, which is actually based off of a V-Jump cover. And unfortunately, this figure actually didn't fare too well on the final version of it. I did end up getting it because I had it pre-ordered and I didn't realize I did. So I might still open it. We'll see what happens. I might just end up selling it. But the side of the box looks fantastic for Goku. And obviously, one thing you can probably notice about this figure is that it is the manga colors too. And what's kind of interesting about that is that for the FES set, that was literally right before this, they released the anime color version of this guy, and then this one, which was literally the set directly after that one, they released the manga color version, which was like, I was so confused by that decision, because it's like, you would think that, you know, they would wait a couple of sets in between to release the alternate color version, and not just like the very next set. And what was kind of interesting that ended up happening was that, of course, everybody wanted the more manga accurate color scheme because that's the one that everybody likes better than like the bright anime orange, or I guess dark anime orange. And so a bunch of people pre-ordered that figure, and then we ended up getting this one, and everybody was like, whoops, and canceled their pre-orders and ended up getting this guy. So the other one is obviously literally the exact same in terms of the sculpt. So, of course, the other one isn't going to be any different in terms of that. So if you do want to pick up that figure or this figure once, you know, we're obviously done taking a look at it here. I'm looking for the hole, because usually I poke my finger through it, but I don't quite see it in here. So I'm just going to... Ooh, I already see a little bit of a stinky on mine, but... oh, there's the hole. But we'll take a look at it. So if you would like to get either version of this figure, of course, I'll leave a link, and a couple of links actually in the description, where you can pick him up. If he is available on Amazon and he's not overpriced, you can pick him up there, and I'll actually get a little bit of a cut with no extra cost to you, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. But I can already tell you before we even open this guy up, and I'm already loving the bubble wrap, this figure's going to be good because I've already seen a lot of pictures and a lot of video of this guy. So let's go ahead and crack on the... Whoa! Look at that bright light, bro. Let's go ahead and take a look at our boy here. First of all, of course, we're looking at the bottom half. Let's actually just remove that right there. It's just the peg. This looks fantastic. I absolutely, again, love the color scheme. Of course, that lighter orange for that manga color look. I love the reds and blues that they used. I love the sculpting of the knees. This is one of those examples, I always say this when it comes to figures, where it doesn't look like they made the pants and then stuck the knee in there. It looks like they sculpted the pants around the knee, even though that's not actually how that works. You know, it's just kind of how it looks. I really, really like the kind of ruffled obi belt. The battle damage on it looks great. The only thing that kind of stinks is that, like we already pointed out with the boot, as you can see, there is a scratch and a little nick on the bottom of mine, but thankfully the figure poses like this. So I'm not really going to have to be worried about seeing that on my copy of the figure. Let's go ahead and take him out of the bubble wrap. I'm very glad that they bubble wrapped his hand as well as his head. I don't know if I can actually... Excuse me, can you get that off, please? Now, one thing you will probably also notice about this figure is that it is a little bit smaller. For some reason, Hiroyuki Nakazawa... Ooh, look at that hand sculpt, bro. That looks great. Likes to sculpt figures a little bit smaller. It's just kind of a thing that he does. I don't really know why. I guess it's just personal preference. Why is this... This is taped so weirdly here. I guess let's just cut I don't want to cut it in case I want to, you know, in case I need to repackage it here. Let's just, well, that's basically going to be the same thing as ripping it, huh? Here, let's cut that open. See, even though this is kind of hard to get open, that's only a good thing, because obviously then that means that they took good care of packaging this guy up, which you always really like to see when you are taking a look at these figures. Okay, there we go. Wonderful. All right, so now I think we can unravel the boy. I don't want to break off any of the head spikes, obviously. Ooh, let's slowly pull that off. It's hard too, because obviously since they get stuck, you know, since they're really spiky, they get stuck on the bubble wrap, whether you're pulling up or, you know, whether you're, you know, pulling down on it. They get stuck either way. Ooh, okay, so I already see something I love with the sculpt, and I did know about this already before I opened it, but I love that the look of Namek Goku has that super big one single hair spike in the middle, and as you can see there, this figure does indeed encapsulate that with this big boy right here. Very cool. Now, unfortunately for the hair sculpt, they did kind of go with the newer way that they do things, where they do these weird, like, lines on it instead of just making it like one solid piece to make it a little bit more accurate to that manga look. But it's not the worst thing in the world. I will say I love the color of yellow that they chose, because in the Namek saga, his hair was a little bit lighter yellow. So very, very nice choice of color there. And if we take a look at the face, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that looks perfect. Here is a picture of the, every time I do a comparison, my camera unfocuses. Here's the manga for you for a little bit of comparison. Bro, it's literally doing it. I'm not even touching it. That's crazy. I think that this look, I'm speechless. I'm tripping over my words. It looks perfect. It literally looks perfect. I don't think I could ask for a better face for this particular pose. It looks so, so good. Obviously, the battle damage on his stomach and his chest looks great. With the ripped gi here, of course, you know, it cuts halfway through. Looks fantastic. I love the sculpting detail on his muscles. If you can actually see it, there we go. The camera's too excited too. Looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. Even though we already have so many Goku figures by this point, the FES line continues to pump out high quality stuff, because of course the boy Hiroyuki Nakazawa always holding it down with fantastic figures. And actually, for being a little bit of usually he's a smaller sculptor, this figure is actually a pretty decent size. You can see just holding him in my hand like this, he's pretty big. And all together, wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is perfect. That is a fantastic rendition of this pose for Goku. Wow, that is really, really cool. Let's go ahead and chuck my man on the stand here and see how he fares. This is one of those ones where it literally just slides on the stand. Are we gonna, yep, and it just kind of hangs there. Now, unfortunately, because this is only one peg like this, right, this stand may kind of get a little bit weaker over time. Granted, the plastic is a little bit more strong than what they used to use, but I know for a fact a couple figures that I have that have the same type of stand kind of lean a little bit nowadays. It's not the worst thing, because a new stand is always something that you can acquire, and of course, you know, you could always get something custom made, I suppose. But they did a good job as well, I feel like, for the most part of putting him on the stand. Unfortunately, I will say, compared to, let's do a quick comparison next to the actual thing, and let me focus the camera again for you. He is leaning at a little bit of a weird angle, like he's leaning this way a little bit when he should be this way a little bit more on the stand. It's not the worst thing. Like, I feel like the figure should be more like, how do I get this at a good angle for you here? Let me pan up a little bit. I feel like it should be more like this, I guess, flat, right? At least from the perspective of the camera, rather than like this. But again, not the worst thing. I would rather have a stinky stand than a stinky figure, you know what I'm saying? But anyhow, I think this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Again, a super, super great rendition of this pose and of this character. This is one of those figures that I can recommend if you're not a figure collector and you're just a fan of Dragon Ball Z, or you're just a fan of Goku in general. This is definitely one of those pieces that I can highly recommend that you just, you know, cop it outright. Such a good figure. I expected nothing less. I know a lot of people were really excited for this figure and were crossing their fingers for Bandai not to mess it up. So thankfully, the boys took a dub today. Let's go ahead and compare now. Got to get the dust off of our boys. To our normal comparisons here, of course, the Ichiban Kuji Gotenks and the WCF Dokkan Battle Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Gotenks beats out Goku's hair by just a tiny little bit, but obviously in terms of scale, Goku definitely wins out against Gotenks here, I think. Let's go ahead and grab our ruler. Shaboom! And let's go ahead and slam that down in the back. He looks to be about 8.5. It's hard to tell. Maybe 8.25 is more accurate, I think. From the bottom of the base to the top of the hair. Obviously, it's a little bit different in terms of like the actual figure, but I think you get the point. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons now because we have lots of figures to compare here to. Actually, I guess not really lots. We only have 3. One of them is going to be kind of quick. This one isn't really Namek themed, but I figured I'd chuck this guy out just because he was easy to grab. And this is another FES Goku. And I can tell you right now, I do like this FES Goku. Funny enough, I am going to get rid of this guy eventually, though, in favor of the Omen one because I do kind of like the Omen hair sculpt on this guy a little bit better. But here you go. These are 2 different renditions of Goku from the same sculptor. And I do think that the MUI Goku is a little bit smaller. But honestly, I think that the Super Saiyan Goku is a lot more accurate to him in terms of the face. Although obviously the detail in terms of battle damage and the body structure, you know, is peak. Because, of course, Nakazawa goated. I just wanted to give you that as a quick comparison because they're both from the FES line. And obviously they're both Goku figures. Now, let's go ahead and compare another Super Saiyan Goku. I know most of you are probably expecting me to grab the Bardock and Goku figure, but no, we are going to grab a Goku figure that I have not taken a look at in a fat minute in terms of getting my man off of the shelf. This was actually one of the first figure unboxings that I ever did on my channel. Of course, this is the Jump anniversary, 50th anniversary, I believe, cover Goku. This figure is absolutely fantastic. Still one of my favorite renditions of Super Saiyan Goku. And you can see some of the differences in sculpting detail here. Like, there's a lot more space between his legs and the actual rips in the pants. Like, it looks like he's wearing the pants a lot more. Obviously, this version of the figure is a little bit more torn in terms of his actual skin. He's got a little fruit punch, but of course that makes more sense because I don't think when Goku hits this pose he has any damage on his actual body yet. I could be wrong on that. Obviously, if you saw the manga, you know, thing a couple of seconds ago, then obviously you would know. But both of these are a fantastic rendition of the same scene. I like that both of them use the bright, or well, I guess it would be more like light orange pants, the nice blue color, and they actually do what I like in terms of the hair color, both of them for Namek Goku, which is making it lighter. And this figure is a great example of what I was talking about, where these days they do this thing with these lines in the hair that's really weird, right? When, you know, it looks a lot more manga accurate, at least with the one on the right, because of course, you know, it's a lot more flowy and it's like big chunks of hair rather than this weird, like, detailed sort of thing. I understand that A, it's probably cheaper to produce them this way, and of course use this like weird shiny coat of paint. And also, you know, it's probably, I don't know, because the first one that came out was the anime color one, and they usually do that more with like the anime-based quote-unquote figures. I guess they're not really based on either in particular, except for, you know, of course, the Anniversary Goku is, you know, based on the manga. But I digress. Both of these are fantastic representations of Goku from the Namek saga, and I'm happy to have both of them in my collection. And finally, you know for a fact that I cannot have this video come through without having a Frieza. Now, I actually don't have that many Namek Saga Frieza figures. This might be the only one, and I do plan on getting the full power Frieza from the Tag Fighter set at some point, but just for a little comparison here, we did unbox this guy a little while ago. Of course, this is the GX Materia Final Form Frieza. Now, of course, this Frieza comes from a little bit before Goku goes Super Saiyan, because obviously he's fighting full power Frieza, and I believe this is when he's still in base form. I could be getting that wrong, I suppose, but you can flame me in the comments if you want. More interaction, baby. Anyway. These guys do look absolutely fantastic together, no matter if it is the proper form that they fought in or not. Obviously, both of them being based on the Namek saga is so good, bro. Absolutely fantastic. They both fit with the theme very, very well. I love the look of these two on the shelf together. I might actually have to display them like that. I'm not sure where I'm going to display the FES Goku, but I actually really, really like him. So he might end up staying on my desk. I don't know. We'll see. But that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. Let me know if you plan on picking up this figure in the comment section below. Again, I highly, highly recommend him, and some links to pick him up in the description below. Let me know your overall thoughts on this guy, and of course if you prefer the manga or the anime color version, and if you'd like to support my figure collecting endeavors, shenanigans, all that good stuff, you can do so on Patreon. There's some fun rewards for you over there, or if you just like to support the boy, but please do not feel obligated to do so, because obviously you watching the videos is what means the most to me. That's why I'm making the content, bro. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck on pulling Goku if you have not yet, of course, and I will see you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.